Okay. Why is that still so weird? Hopefully you all can hear me good. And I hope you are all doing very, very well. It is Christmas Eve. And I got to be honest. I wasn't wanting to do this a little while ago. I was like, you know what? No, it just has not been a good day. I'm afraid that I won't do a good job. And, but then I was like, no, I can't do that. This is my thing. I do this every Thursday night. And, so here I am. Hopefully I do not disappoint all of you. How is everyone doing tonight? Tonight is the night, probably the last day of work for everybody. Thank you, Melissa Jeswald. Appreciate it. And double thank you, because where'd it go? We got the gifts today and they are amazing. And it is frustrating me because I can't make it a box again. And you're probably all confused about that. Melissa sent me a puzzle today that's like a Rubik's Cube, but it's all different kinds of shapes and all of them move around all over the place. And it's very confusing. And it's very, very cool. It's a big challenge. So thank you for that. And Lisa loved her presents also. So we're so blessed. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I don't know what I was saying earlier. Hopefully today was everyone's last day at work. I know a lot of places are closed tomorrow. I talked to my UPS guy, not the driver, but my account guy yesterday. And he was like, dude, I'm out of here today and I'm not coming back until January 3rd. And I was like, huh, that must be nice. I don't know what that feels like. But anyway, also, I cannot forget to show this. Listen, I'm the kind of guy, if you're ever curious as to what, please don't send me gifts. Please don't. But anything Washington Nationals on it, Washington Capitals or superheroes, you're gold. And Lefty 3213A sent me this, which is amazing. It's one of those that you freeze. And it's Washington Nationals. You got to love that. I love it. Of course I love it because I love anything and everything that has Washington Nationals on it. Another thing we got, and I can't show it, Dennis is retired. Well, good for you. Congratulations to you. You ain't got to worry about going back to work tomorrow. Lisa got a gift. I don't know if it was to me or to both of us, or if it was to just her. It should have been to just her because she's amazing and she is the one that deserves all of the gifts. But Tanner Serpa, you know, the guy that I brown nose all the time, inside joke. If you know what I'm talking about, you will get a kick out of that. But sent her an amazing plant that took her 45 minutes to unwrap. That's the thing with Lisa. You can send her a seed and she'll be like, yay, like the best thing ever. We also got, and I can't show it here because it's on the tree. We got a really cool ornament from Stephen P. 2003. I guess that was a way of thanking us for humiliating him at the live stream in Aquashella. We didn't humiliate him. He was just terrified to be in there. But it is an amazing bubbles ornament. And so, listen, we are extraordinarily lucky people. We may not have had a good day today. No reason to get into why we didn't have a good day today. It's nothing catastrophic. Well, it is for us, but not for you. You know, you have a bad day, but then you start thinking about how lucky you are and all that you have to be thankful for. It's a beautiful thing. And then my family is getting together for our Christmas tomorrow. Then we have Christmas on Saturday. I mean, life is good. What are you going to do? Not many things to complain about. One of the things to complain about tonight is I'm not really prepared with anything to talk about. Lisa was going to be with me, but circumstances just didn't work out. And so I'm here alone. And I did come up with something kind of last minute, which is probably never a good thing to do. But I did come up with something because I got an email the other day, and I'm not prepared to talk about it. See, listen, usually what I like to do, if there's something for me to talk about that is in depth, I like to think about it. I like to process it, not write a script. Obviously, I'm not writing a script for a live stream, but to just be prepared. Like, I don't want to say this. Maybe I'll talk about that, or whatever, to prepare for it. And I did none of that today. And this one, it's made me a little angry. So that's an even bigger reason to not talk about it, but I'm going to do it anyway. But before I do that, I'm going to thank, let's see, Wayne's Aquatics. Say your Aquashella speak top shelf, my friend. Oh, thank you for that. If anybody is still wanting to see that, Aquashella did post that talk. And I have to get on Aquashella for it, but then I also have to thank them for it. And here's what I mean. They put up the entire talk, which is really cool. It's on their YouTube channel, and they had a couple of cameras going, so it's like different angles and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's really well done. Audio is great, which is amazing because I didn't film it. But I sure didn't like the way I looked on camera. And that's not Aquashella's fault. That's not the camera's fault. That's this guy's fault. So I'm unhappy with them because of that. But then I'm also happy because they put it up, and because I saw that and I said, oh, John, we've got work to do. But anyway, but thank you, Wayne's Aquatics, for that. Casual Aquatics, waiting on an email from you about gift card I won. Yes, those are going to be going out probably tomorrow. So yeah, be looking forward to that. Congratulations for the win, by the way. John Wallace, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you fish folks. Donation to kick off the new year. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it very much. Rustic Nashville, Merry Fishmas, y'all. Very cute. Thank you for that. Big supporter of the channel, and has reasons not to, but she does anyway. And that just shows you how lucky we are. Let's see. We also had a message before the stream started from Melissa Jeswald, saying Merry Christmas or Fishmas to everyone. Oh, there it went. Yay, it skipped. I thought I saw something, and I was going to do it, but it didn't work out. So, okay. I don't know why when I'm talking, I put my gum down here and then it gets stuck, and I don't know why I do that. So if you ever see me doing that, that's why, because I'm getting that out of there. So, okay. This could get a little squirrely. I've been saying that a lot lately. I've been saying squirrely, and I've been saying, I'll say it to your face. I've been saying that a lot lately, because two of my favorite YouTubers say those things all the time. I was introduced to a channel by the YouTube recommended page about 2 weeks ago, and I've been completely obsessed with that channel. The channel is called John Malecki. Figure out how to spell it, because I don't know how to spell it. He's a woodworker out of Pittsburgh, and he used to play for the Steelers, which is cool. I think he played for like five other teams too. But I don't really watch the NFL anymore, even though I do still like it. I don't really watch it anymore, but I think it's cool. You got a guy that did a little tour around the NFL. He was an offensive lineman, so he's like a big giant. And now he's doing a YouTube. So I think that's really cool. But he says squirrely all the time. And this might get a little squirrely because I don't know how this is going to go. I could end up saying a lot of things that I regret. But I don't think so, because I'm not a jerk. Listen, at no point whatsoever in anything that I am about to say am I doing a sales pitch. Nor am I trying to get you to buy anything, which would be exactly the same as a sales pitch. But I had someone email me, which I will not say their name, yelling at me for selling a particular product. I will read the email to you. I'm not going to put it up on the screen because it's a long one. This person didn't get overly nasty, as they sometimes will. Not this person, but as people on the internet sometimes will. Customers, we haven't really had any real bad ones, which has been a blessing. We had one back when we had our shop that, oh boy, maybe I'll tell that story later. He was a hoot, I tell you. But this one came out of the blue, and he says, John, I always watch your YouTube videos because I trust your knowledge on the tropical fish hobby. No, you don't. But anyway, I do have to add a little commentary while I'm reading this. Your video on the Seachem Title 75 hang on the back filter convinced me to purchase one. He didn't buy it from me. Just so you know, it doesn't matter. I don't care. He didn't buy it from me. The way you praised this filter was as if this filter was the best ever made. And it is. But anyway, well, I guess you never actually installed one in an aquarium. No, that's not true. I installed one in the video that I did about it, and that one is still running, not on the same aquarium, but it's on a 29-gallon aquarium down in Lisa's fish room, along with 4 others. And I have one on this 29 that you're looking at. There it is, right there. See that little fella? Yep. So, come on. I mean, let's be real. I installed mine on a 55-gallon freshwater tank. In less than a week, the filter was clogged and the water was overflowing into the bypass. This filter has about 8 or 10 slits in the basket. When water enters these slits into the sponge and fills with debris, the filter starts overflowing into the bypass. This is true. And so does every other filter. But anyway, only where the sponge is over a slit is filtering. The rest of the sponge that is not over a slit is not filtering. This is the best part. I think you owe an apology to your subscribers on falsely claiming this hang on the back filter is the best ever made. And then he signed it off. And yes, it is a he, because a woman doesn't send these kind of emails. Ended the email with, shame on you. Okay, listen. I could have looked it up prior to doing this stream. But you got to push a lot of buttons, and then you got to go to this drop down menu, and then you got to move this over here, and it's a big thing to be able to do it. But if I was to guess, over the last year and a half, I think it's a conservative number to say that Lisa and I have sold about 1,500 tidal filters out of our basement. Okay. We use 5 of them right now as we're working with, in our own private, personal, whatever you want to call it, tanks. We sold a lot of these filters. I had people come up to me in Dallas that are vendors, and they were like, I'm glad to finally meet you. And I'm like, okay. And they said, you have no idea how much money you've made us, because we cannot keep the CJ Sharks and the Seachem Tidal filters in our shops. Both CJ products, by the way. If you don't know that, CJ designed and manufactured the Tidal filter for Seachem. It says it right there on the box. So I don't know why CJ hasn't sent me the first class tickets to fly out to Italy yet. I don't know why they haven't done that, but maybe someday they will. I had more than one, and Lisa can attest to this because she was there, more than one person say that to me. Distributors have inquired with CJ, why are all of these filters selling all the time. And they've told them it's because of that bald guy. Now, it's not all me. I mean, you watch reviews on YouTube about the title filters and everybody raves on them. It's not just me. And I'm not going to make the claim that there were no title filters selling until I made a video about it. No, that's ridiculous. But there was some buzz created, particularly with the sharks. Jimmy did a video about the sharks like a little bit before mine. And of course his was way more beautiful than mine was. And then mine came out, and I think the combination of those two like blew up the sharks. Everybody wanted them. Distributors couldn't get them in. And it, you know, I'm sure I patted myself on the back a little bit about that. But the point that I'm trying to make is I have sold a lot of these, but way more have been sold than just what I've sold. I mean, because let's face it, this is real talk here right now. People will see my videos. Maybe they'll go to our site and then they'll choose to buy it somewhere else. And you know, that's fine. I'm not mad at anybody for doing that. So yeah, I feel like I can take responsibility for a lot of title filters getting sold. The reason for that is because it's a great filter. Newsflash, it's a great filter. In my honest, humble, what do I know opinion, the title filter is the best hang on the back filter available right now. I believe that. I will go to my grave believing that. Maybe not, because hopefully I live long enough for a filter to come out better than this one. I'm sure there will. I'm sure there'll be another filter that comes out. Maybe they will do the one thing that they could do to the AquaClear that would change the game with that filter. Maybe they will. And if they do, that could be the one. Who knows? But right now, in my opinion, the title filter is the best one out there. The complaint that this guy has, this is my biggest gripe. And this is where I might get into a little bit of trouble. I hope not, because I hope me and this gentleman here can still be friends. Because I don't care if you disagree with me. I don't like you saying shame on you, because that's kind of personal. That's kind of like, man, I'm not going to walk through the streets of King's Landing naked with the woman behind me with the bell saying shame, shame. I'm not going to do that. Hopefully y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that. That was a bit much. Shame on you. But you know, there's a lot of worse things that he could say. But what drove this email is what bothers me. Because I haven't seen them. I'm going to be honest with you, but I know a lot of people will put in the comments, or they'll send emails. They'll say, I'm a little concerned. What is it with this bypass? People say that the title filters bypass. What's with that? Folks, I'm going to tell you something right now that might change your life. Every single aquarium filter, not the, obviously not sponge filters, but every filter that has a motor and a pump, those are the same thing, but you know what I mean? Water pumping through it that is filtering through media. Every single one of those filters is capable of bypass, and every single one of those filters will bypass if the filter is clogged. It's common sense. The water's being pulled through the filter. If the filter pad or the filter cartridge or whatever it is that you have is clogged up, what is water going to do? You were taught this in the 3rd grade. It's going to take the path of least resistance. It's going to go around it. Every one of them. I need to turn my notifications off on my watch because Lisa's blowing me up right now. She's sending me questions, which is good because I asked for her for the help. Every filter is going to do that. And what is that a sign of? This gentleman emailed me and said, within a week, this filter clogged up and bypassed. To me, it kind of means it's doing a really good job. How much stuff got picked up by that filter that was floating around in this guy's tank to clog it up that fast. This filter is not, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't clog easier than any other filters do. It flows just like any other. And to me, the bypass is a good thing, because if it bypasses, your dummy self should, not the person that sent the email, I'm saying you, the fish keeper, you should see, oh, it's bypassing. I need to service the filter. It's kind of common sense. I actually brought one up here. That's why it has this little doohickey. I think I called it a doohickey in my video about it. If the water bypasses, it doesn't just bypass for no reason. It bypasses because the filter is clogged up. So if it does that, it also pops this little nipple up, alerting you to the fact that you haven't cleaned your filter out and you need to clean it out because it's full of junk, which is causing the water to bypass, and it's causing it to do that. This doesn't mean that it's a bad filter. It actually means it's a very efficient filter that picks up so much stuff that it can clog up. If your tank is disgusting and there's a lot of debris floating around in it, it's going to pick all of that up, and there might be so much of it that it clogs that sponge up. But guess what? I don't care what filter you're using. If it was going to clog up that fast, it's going to clog up any filter that you put on there. And you cannot argue with me on this. It's just a fact. If your tank is that dirty, any filter is going to get clogged up. If it's a filter that's worth a you-know-what, it's going to get clogged up because that's what it's supposed to do. It's picking up all of that debris. It's stopping it from going back into your tank. And if there's enough of it, it's going to get clogged up. But here's the problem. This isn't the problem, but I put my last bubble sticker on my microphone. Isn't that adorable? Here's the problem. This applies to this issue. This applies to positive things as well as negative things. There is this sheep mentality on the internet. It doesn't matter if people are saying good things or they're saying bad things. How many products, I just talked about the title and the shark, but there's a lot of products. I could go through a list of not things that I've promoted, but just looking around the fish keeping community. Oh no, I think my camera might shut off. I think my camera might be overheating. Let me do something here. That's not going to be convenient. What is it doing? Okay. Give me 1 second. The stream is not going to shut off. It might just be the camera. Don't panic. I'm going to switch cameras real quick. The other one will look just as good. Don't worry. I can do this while we're sitting here talking. It's just going to go blank for a second. I got to plug it in. I wish I had one of those fancy little "we'll be right back" messages like Steenfot has. That would be very convenient right now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a song that he will play that will, it'll get in your head. It'll stick in your head for the rest of the day. Okay, now it's not doing it. Okay, so what's happening is I get a little, there it is again. I get a little alert on my camera that says, "Hey, dummy, it's getting really hot. You might want to switch it over. You might want to give this camera a break." All right. The problems, if there's technical issues, it's always me, isn't it? Okay, this is where the camera's going to cut off for just a second. Don't panic, it's fine. Oh, How about that? It switched to the webcam. That's cute. That works. That's fine. We can go with that. But this one's way better. You see my lights in the in that one. We don't want that. Okay, so this one should become available here. Here we go. So we can talk while I'm doing this, and we'll just talk through the webcam. So what I was getting at before, the biggest problem that I see is that sheep mentality. And what I mean by that is people start following along with whatever others are saying. Does that make sense? Lisa just said, fix your camera. I am. What do you think? What does it look like I'm doing? I don't want to start showing you this one because you'd be looking at me like all close up. It would be weird. Okay. There we go. Now it's got to focus. Come on, girl. There we are. The things I do. All right. So this one's a little brighter. It just is what it is. We're fine, right? Okay. What I see a lot of on the old internets is people saying things because they heard other people say them. So you have, that's too close. That's better. So you have people say in a video or on a blog post. Do people blog anymore? I don't know. But you see things online where people say, oh, the title filter bypasses. And so what ends up happening is whoever it was that just read that says the title bypasses, they are going to start telling other people that too. They're going to say, well, you know, I wouldn't get one of those filters because it bypasses. And they probably don't even know what bypass is. Now, this gentleman experienced it, apparently, on his own, on his really dirty tank. He experienced that. And I say that was the filter doing a good job. But he didn't like that. I didn't respond to him because people are going to be nasty with me. I just don't give them any of my time, except I'll talk about them for a half an hour on my live stream. Is he still on the webcam mic? What's happening? Is this microphone not working? This is working. Oh, why is that happening? Oh, I know what's happening here. Hang on. There we go. Now we should be back on this. Can you hear me better now? Are we back to this microphone now? I saw that. I saw Lefty say something about that. Are we better now with the audio? What's my favorite MCU character? Right now, it is Frank Castle. 100 times out of 100. When you unplug the camera to put your webcam mic on, that's because I have a port on the back of my computer that is a little squirrely. And I must have bumped it and it stopped. You know, hi, I always have electronics problems, whatever. So, but if you don't know, Frank Castle is the Punisher. So, remind me to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home at the end. I'm not going to spoil anything, folks. I'm not going to do that. But remind me to talk about that at the end. I have seen this myself, what I've been trying to talk about here, without all of these technical problems that are my fault. Of course they are. I have seen people put on forums, Facebook posts, whatever, I am not going to buy this particular product because of this. And I'm not talking about just the tidal filters. I'm talking about any products. I'm not going to buy it because of this. And then the interesting thing is when you say to them, well, have you tried that product? They say, no, people said that to me. I heard that. I think the internet is a beautiful place for gathering information. I've been gathering information about a lot of things lately, and it's a beautiful place to gather all of that information. But what I don't do is I don't formulate my opinion based on what one person says, even if it's my favorite person ever. I think that, in my personal opinion, the best YouTuber on earth, I think everybody would say Mr. Beast, which he's awesome. He's amazing. But in my opinion, the best YouTuber on the planet is Mark Rober. I would say Casey Neistat, but he's not really doing anything anymore. Mark Rober does it better than anyone else on the platform right now. And if he came out and said, I don't like the Canon EOS R6 camera, I think it's junk, and I think anybody that buys it is stupid, I would say, I guess I'm stupid, because that's what I use in all of my videos, and I happen to love it. I'm not going to change my opinion based on what he says, even though I don't think there's anybody out there doing it better than him. You understand what I'm saying? And if my favorite fish keeper, and I could give you a long list of my favorite fish keepers on YouTube. If they say it, it's not going to make me instantly change my opinion, or it's not going to make me make my opinion. Great example. I saw in here earlier today, Alex from Secret History Living in Your Aquarium. I'm a fan of his. We all know that. I talk about him all the time. I'm also, why am I holding my microphone? It's on a boom pole, John. You don't have to hold it. I'm also a big fan of Primetime Aquatics. We all know that. I'm a big fan of Aquarium Co-op. I'm a big fan of Lisa KG Tropicals. There's a lot of channels that I'm a big fan of. If I'm researching a product, you all do that. I love it. To me, it's like the best thing in the world. Like, oh, we need a new dishwasher? That means that I get to watch videos on which one is the best dishwasher. That's my favorite thing to have. I love that. We don't need to buy our dishwasher because we're renting this house. But I love that. I love just going and watching a whole bunch of videos about whatever products it is that I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for an aquarium filter and I don't happen to have a fully stocked fish store down in my basement, I'm going to turn to YouTube, and I see you got four of my favorite YouTubers have done videos on this particular product. And I watch Alex's video and he's like, oh my God, this is the best product ever. I love it. It's the best. And then I watch Corey's, and Corey's is like, yeah, hey, that's a great product. And then I watch Jason, and Jason says, not a fan. First of all, Jason wouldn't make that video because he wouldn't waste his time talking about a product that he doesn't like. But at least I don't think so. I never really asked him, but him and I are very similar in the way we do things. And he's way better than me, but I don't think he would do that. Anyway, what I'm saying is Jason could call me right now. He lives in Chicago, and he could say, John, I'm in trouble. I need you in Chicago now. I'd stop the stream and I'd be on a plane on my way to O'Hare. Isn't that the airport? I think it is. I adore Jason. I would do anything for him. But if he says he doesn't like a product, that's not going to change my opinion on it. And that's not going to make me say, well, Alex said it was great, and Corey said it was great, and Jay Wilson loves it. But Jason hates it. So no, I'm out. I can't have it. I don't do that. I look at it as I can like something that he doesn't like. That's okay, isn't it? I mean, in my world, it's okay. And that goes for everything. I have my favorite channels on all different types of YouTube. And I mentioned earlier, John Malecki for woodworking. He's like my favorite YouTube channel right now for woodworking. If he says the DeWalt, I have a lot of DeWalt tools and I love them a lot. But if the DeWalt sliding miter saw, which I will be buying one of these days, is junk, I would never buy that. I'm going to get the Festool every single time. Listen, I'm still going to get the DeWalt because that's what I've used and I like it and it works for me. And this goes with everything. Even if my favorite people say that, it doesn't change my opinion. It's certainly nice if I see something that I really like and I really want to, I'm really leaning that way. And then I go on Alex's channel and he's like, this is great. And Corey's like, oh, wow, this is wonderful. And Jason's like, oh, let me tell you, this is the best I've ever had. That's nice. And yes, I am the kind of person that I will order I'm so stupid. I'll order something and then I'll watch a bunch of videos about that product that I've already ordered while I'm waiting for it to be sent to me. Do you do that? I think a lot of people do that, or maybe it's just me. I don't know. But that's the way I operate. Maybe once I order the product, I want just some reassurance. I don't know. I don't understand what goes on in my head, but the point I'm trying to make is don't follow what everyone says. Like, if you feel a certain way, don't let what you see some stranger that you've never heard of before, don't let him change your opinion on that. Because I see that a lot. I see it in our community. I see it everywhere. If I make a video about the Seachem Title and I say it's the best filter ever, don't buy it just based on that. Look into that product. Watch other videos about it. There's 50 videos, if not more, of people that have done videos about the titles way before I did them. I mean, it's not a new filter. There's tons and tons of videos about them. I don't know that they're all positive. I think that I think that there's a lot probably going both ways. I don't know. I haven't seen any negative videos about it. But don't just do it based on what I say. Look at what other people say too. I mean, I am fantasizing about the day that I don't know when it's going to be. It might be 10 years from now when I can walk into a car dealership and buy a brand new truck. That's going to be like one of my most glorious days. Of course, after my wedding day, in the woods, and Lisa, wasn't that funny? Anyway, that's going to be something that I just can't wait to do. I already know what kind of truck I want. I already know every single feature that I want, and I watch videos about them all the time. It's a Ram Rebel, in case anybody's wondering. We rented one when we went to New Jersey, and I have a Ram now, but I've always loved Rams, and the Rebel, I love it. I'm not going to see a video tomorrow of somebody that says the Rebel is the worst vehicle I've ever seen, and it's going to change my mind about that. I hope I'm making sense here. If you see one thing online, don't immediately change your opinion on something just because you saw somebody say it. I think there's a lot of that goes on. And every single time I hear the word bypass associated with the title filter, I know that it's a sheep. I know it is. This guy wasn't, because he has experience with this filter. He used it. His filter was his tank was nasty and disgusting, and it clogged his filter up really super fast. I personally would think that that would be a good thing. Like, wow, this thing's really doing a good job. I didn't realize my tank was that dirty, but he looked at it as a bad thing. He mentions the bypass because he probably went on and watched a couple of videos about it clogging up and saw people say the word bypass. And then he's, all of a sudden he's on this tirade about it being something that can cause bypass. Every filter can cause bypass, folks. Every single aquarium heater can burst and fail. Every single pump, when it gets a little older, is going to start rattling. I'm talking about air pumps. Every single air stone is going to clog. All of the things that you see all the time, these are things that they just happen. Yeah, sometimes you can buy a product and it's just a dud. It just doesn't work for your situation. That doesn't mean you need to... That doesn't mean you need to message a person that you didn't even buy it from and chew them out about it. That's kind of ridiculous, don't you think? I don't know how many people have emailed Jeff Bezos personally. Like, how dare you? Shame on you. I don't think people do that. Don't be alarmed. It's true. I'm drinking a Pepsi. And I'm not very happy about it. But it's the last one I had to get rid of it. So I hope I'm making sense when I talk about that. I'm not trying to embarrass that guy. If I was trying to embarrass him, I would say his name and I would show the email, but I'm not going to do that because what good is that going to do? It's just when I see keywords, particular keywords, I'm instantly like, oh, I know what's going on here. I know where the agenda came from. And for that guy, it was pretty clear where his stuff came from. It came from him watching other videos, and it came from his tank being really, really dirty. If your hang on the back filter clogs up really fast, folks, you may need to start asking yourself why that is. Because they shouldn't clog up that fast unless your aquarium is butt dirty. There's no other way of saying it. Filthy. Donna Watson says, question, my husband and I have a glow fish, but they were in a 10-gallon and now they are in a 40-gallon tall. They are very scared. We don't understand why. Well, it's not that difficult to understand, Donna. I wouldn't panic about it. You have to think about if you know how things are always distorted if you're in the water and you look out of the water. If the pool doesn't have too much chlorine in it and you're able to open your eyes and you can look out, how everything looks wavy and blurry and weird. Well, that's what your fish see every single day, all day. You don't look like a person outside of your aquarium. You look like a big blur. And that's weird. They're in a new environment that's 4 times the size of what they're used to. There's probably new decorations. There's a new footprint. There's all this new atmosphere. The water's flowing a different way. And when they look outside the glass, the whole blur looks way different than it did before. It's completely expected and completely normal. Don't panic about it. Now, if you put them in the new 40-gallon tank 6 months ago and they're still afraid, well, we might need to entertain some other ideas. But if this is a brand new thing, don't panic over it. That's something that I would expect. And it should be something that they get used to it after a while, and it should be fine. Roger, I combined your first name and your last name, Richard. I'm going to say Goger. It could be Gogger. Not really sure. Richard, do you think it's better? Do you think it's better than an Aqua Clear with an in-tank media basket? So as far as the box of the Aqua Clear and the Tidal, I don't think one's better than the other. Personally, I don't. The Aqua Clears are usually bigger. I'll give them that. As far as the footprint, it's wider than the Tidal. The Tidal's a little more slender. but they both have a cavernous opening that you can put stuff in. A lot of different media that's available from either the manufacturer or, wow, Pepsi. See, that's why I don't drink Pepsi. Pepsi gives me heartburn. Coke doesn't. But there's plenty of room in both of those to add media, either from the manufacturer or whatever it is that you put in there. The number one thing that the Tidal has over the AquaClear is the pump inside the tank. And it's a CJ pump. I am a fan of CJ pumps. I want to get new CJ pumps for this tank. Jay Wilson, hey. No, you don't need to send them to me. I can buy them. It's okay. I'm just being funny there. He probably, I could hit Jay Wilson up and he would do that because I sold like 40,000 sharks for them. But anyway, I love CJ pumps. They're super quiet. They're super powerful. And it's a CJ pump that's in that device, but it's in the water. The number one problem, there's two problems that I've had with every single AquaClear that I've ever had. They are a great filter, folks. I am not trying to poo-poo the AquaClear filter. They are fantastic with two exceptions. One is the daggone lid. And if you watch my video, I showed an example of a brand new, right out of the box. I took it out of the box and I set it up for the video. The top is rattling like an SOB. It's terrible. It was a terrible design. It just sits there. It doesn't seat very well and kind of snap in, and it rattles like an SOB. Really super annoying. You have to put something on it and it stops it. So it's not the end of the world. But the other thing is, I don't care what your experiences are. Not you, Richard, but anybody watching this. I have never had a AquaClear that will start up on its own. What I mean by that is you're doing some maintenance, you unplug it, you do what you got to do. Even if it's not like to maintenance the filter, you unplug it because you're doing a water change and the water's going to be down and it's going to die. A huge waterfall. It's probably going to dry out. You know what I'm saying? So you're doing your maintenance in your aquarium. You unplug it. When you plug it back in, the water goes, and you can just see it trying to go up that clear tube and it just never makes it. And yes, I don't think we ever had this problem. Maybe we did. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But there is that threat of power outages where power goes out and you're at work. And when it comes back on, you're still at work and it doesn't start back up again. Now, usually that'll be okay. Usually when you get home, it'll still be going, you like that sound effect. And you just got to put some water in it, take some water out of the tank, dump it into the box, and it'll start rolling again. But those are the two biggest problems. Any filter, whether it's the new Penguins, which I still haven't tried, the Aqueon, and there's others. There's a bunch of them that have the pump in the water, in the aquarium, on the input. You will never have that problem with those. I mean, unless your water's that low. Why are we even talking about this if your water's that low? If your aquarium is normal, the power goes out and you're at work, it comes back on before you get home from work, you'll never even know. The only way you're going to know that your power went out is that the light on your microwave is going to be blinking. Because do you have clocks anywhere anymore? I mean, well, actually I do. I have one. I have one next to my head when I'm sleeping. AquaClears also overflow easily. The bypass doesn't prevent full flow overflow. But I put a soup can on the rattle. Yeah, that's how you fix I don't use soup can because that's for dinner, but a can of fish food, a can of Pepsi because Coke is so much better. A can or a bottle of Prime, whatever water conditioner you use, put something up there and it'll stop that rattle. But yeah, every single hang on the back filter will bypass, folks. The sooner you can come to grips with that, the better off you're going to feel about it. If that's something that bothers you. That is literally the only complaint I ever hear from anyone about that filter. And in my opinion, it's because they heard it from other people online. And that's what I was trying to say before. Should not happen. RJ Vortex, love the red spot Severums behind you. Don't you? Aren't they awesome? They're little jerks though, because we didn't know this, but they are a pair. They have laid some eggs, and they've become real jerks when they lay those eggs. David Souza, I have 2 Oscars around 2 inches. How long do you think it will take them to double in size? Oscars grow faster than most fish in this hobby. I know you're going to think I'm weird, but this camera that I was using earlier is one of my prized possessions. I love this thing so much. And we make, this is how we make our living. The fact that the lens cap isn't on it is driving me nuts. So I have to take care of that right now. And then I'll feel a little bit better. A lot of factors are going to be involved. Even though they're Oscars, they do grow quite quickly. They will eat nonstop all day. They will never stop eating. They will have so much food in their mouth that they won't be able to close their mouth anymore. They are gluttons. They are pigs. But of course, you want to moderate their food. If you overfeed them, your tank is going to foul up. Your hang on the back filter is going to bypass because it's going to get clogged up. And I don't care if it's an aqua clear. So you want to feed them in moderation. I will tell you how quickly they doubled in size for me. They doubled in size in probably about 3 months. But that's a big old tank. And yes, it is true. And I don't know the science behind this. And I don't have scientific data to show this. But I've done little tests. When we had our shop, this was back in our garage. We took some fry. They were sunshine yellow banga fry. It's a peacock. And we put a brood of fry, about 30, in a 10-gallon tank because it's all we had at the moment. We took another brood, and put them in a 33 long, which is 3 times the size. Obviously, 33 versus 10. And they grew way faster. We're doing water changes. We're feeding the exact same amount. The bigger tank makes them grow faster. I can't explain it. I just know that it's a fact. So if your fish are in a 29-gallon, your Oscars, that's still pretty good size. They'll probably double in size pretty quick. I don't think that's going to slow them down because if they're only 2 inches, they're only that big. So to double in size isn't going to take all that long. But I guess the end result, you have them in a 29-gallon, your fish full grown is going to be smaller than mine. That's kind of the point I was trying to make. And it's going to take them longer to get there. I really should have done a video about that back in the day when we had our garage, but I wasn't in that mode. Like, I wasn't looking at it like that would make a great video because that would show the impact of a larger tank for fry. But I wasn't in that mode back then. I was in, we need to get a shop and lose all of our money. That's the mode that I was in back then. Stephen Fletcher, I gave AquaClear a shot, but my problem is the impeller got stuck more than once. I'd always clean it, even soak it in alcohol, and within a week it stopped again and caused a short ammonia spike. Yeah, you know what, Stephen? I feel you on that, but that can happen in any one of them. My guess with something like that would be that it was a bad motor altogether. It could have been a bad impeller. It could be slightly off. I mean, it's magnets that are making it spin. So something could have been off, causing it to malfunction like that. That's one of those things where that impeller has to spin freely or else it's going to lead to problems. So, but the problem that you had could have been any filter. It could happen on the title. It doesn't matter who manufactures it. It can definitely do that. But yeah, that's a common problem anywhere. I can tell you, and I wasn't lying to you earlier when I said we've probably sold 1,500 titles, and that's probably low. If I'm wrong at all on that, it's probably low. It's probably 2,500. I have had customers email like, "Hey, I bought the filter 3 months ago, and for some reason it stopped working. Like it's dead. I don't know what to do." And I will tell them, take the cap off, pull the motor out, pull that impeller out, swish it around, put it back in, fire it all back up again. It should run. And I shouldn't say 99 times out of 100 because I haven't gotten this email 100 times, but 99% of the time that's happened, it's fixed the problem. And that's every filter. I mean, a grain of sand gets in there in that chamber and it just blocks it from spinning or whatever. I mean, things like that can happen. Where's your adorable biker? He's right there. But see the light. Got a big full moon on the screen now. That's why you don't see him there. Let's see. I got to get caught up on these real quick here. Jeez. George McCormick became a member. Welcome to the team. Delana Silva, Merry Christmas, everyone. We love you, Delana. Thank you so much for that. Dan Weller Evans, finally able to see a stream live instead of catching up the day after. Have a great Christmas from the UK. Thanks for all you guys do for all of us. You are so very welcome. Thank you for coming by. Lefty3213A with a GG. Good game is what GG stands for those young people out there. Thank you, Lefty. I showed this earlier. Don't know if you were here. You missed it. Wiz World, Merry Christmas from the two coolest fishy folk in the YouTube world. Do you think he was talking about himself and his old lady? Because he's saying from, I think he meant to. I'm messing with you, Zach. I still call him Zach because I love it. It's fun. Melissa Jeswald, you two are the greatest, and all the fish fam in the chat. Isn't it amazing? It's amazing the people that we have in here. It brightens my day. And like I said, when I'm an hour from doing the stream and I don't want to do it because my feelings, I come in here and I have so much fun. Alex, not that Alex, a different one, kind of random. But I've never been a huge Oscar fan. Shame on you. We're talking about shame on people tonight. Shame on you, Alex. Shame. Saw an adult one in a store and wanted it so badly. Now have future plans on getting a tank for a couple of Oscars. See, there you go. I take back what I said. Hey, he doesn't have to walk through the streets naked and ringing the bell. Call it off. Tell him to go back home. It's fine. He doesn't have to do it. Listen, they're water dogs. I know you hear it all the time. People say it. It is, it just is what it is. They are the closest thing to puppies that you'll ever see. And I just love them. And the bikers too. Whew, forget about it. It is abnormal for him to be just laying there like that, like a lazy biker tonight. But John just said, shame to Tony's face. It's only because I said it earlier, the shame thing. It's fun. Leo Contreras, 2 questions. 1, what is better, running the title just with the skimmer or with the bottom opened? 2nd, is Fritz algicide safe for cichlids? Yes, it is. And you need to be careful, follow the directions. Don't just casually dump it in, which I know you're not going to do. But yeah, it's safe for all fish. What I tell everyone, whenever you're talking about algae chemicals, I tell everyone, do a half a dose first and see what happens, because it's powerful stuff. And if it doesn't work, then do a full dose. That's the suggestion that I would give to you. And the first question, I am a believer in running the tidal wide open all the time. If I don't want it wide open, meaning the skimmer and the bottom intake, then I go to a more appropriately fitting one. What I mean is, if I had a beta in that 29, which I do not, but if I did, I'd probably turn the 35. It's a Tidal 35 that's on there. I would turn that down because you don't want to blow the beta all over the place. But that's a different situation because there's no other options for the filter. What I mean is, if you have a 55-gallon tank and you say, I'm going to get a Tidal 75, and if it's too powerful, I'm just going to turn it down a little bit. That's fine. But I would rather get a 55 and run it wide open. But that's just me. But one of the glorious things about that filter is that you do have that option of turning the flow down a little bit if you have more delicate fish that don't want to get blown around all over the place. When I worked at a fish shop, I taught the Oscar to jump through a ring, come for food and wait, then jump. I made a short video about it like 4 years ago. See, you can't do that with Severums. Only Oscars can do that. I'm kidding. I don't know how many other fish can do that, but that's great. See, people that don't like Oscars, like Alex used to be, again, not that Alex, but this other one, they know what they can do. All of them, especially the ones that their name rhymes with Steenfot. Clockwork Chaos. After watching your Tidal 35 review, I am looking to get my wife a 20 long, so I have an excuse to install it. Hey, here's what I want you to do. I want you to watch a few other videos on that first. I want you to hear it from others, how great that filter is. Don't just take my advice. I think it's awesome if you take my advice and you run with that. But again, I don't want you to just go by what I have to say. Sean Damon. Merry Christmas, John and Lisa. Santa came early. I got a LA45C linear piston air pump. Now I need PVC pipe to plumb it all in. I can't wait. Listen, that is amazing. That's really cool. I don't know how many videos you've watched on setting those up, but just remember it has to be a loop. I have not watched a single video about linear piston air pumps. I don't know if anybody has said this, but it has to be a loop. So you have to do that. You're running a pipe out. You don't just run one straight pipe out and then all of your outputs from that. It needs to loop back. Just remember that. It's going to make it much more efficient. And I think you have to do that with some of them, but I'm not certain. But that is really, really cool. Good for you. They are awesome, and they're so quiet, and they're so perfectly splendid. I would love for anybody not named Lisa Hudson to put that in the chat, what that's from. Perfectly splendid, because of course Lisa knows, because she says it all the time. Melissa Jeswald, the question of the night, did you see Spider-Man? I did. And I can't talk about it because I can't spoil it, because you can't talk about it without spoiling it. So there you go. But it was, I will say this, by far, by a mile, the best in this trilogy. It's not even close. Am I going to tell you that it is better than the first Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire, the first Spider-Man? I can't say that, because that one was just, it was like, I can't believe there's a Spider-Man movie. So I don't know. I'd really have to put some thought into that. But yeah, Lisa and I went and saw it Sunday night. Theater was packed. It was amazing. I loved it. It was the best. And in a couple of weeks, I will talk about it and I will spoil it because everyone's had play. No, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'll wait until it's available, like streaming. then I'll talk about it. And tell you a funny story about that. Again, nothing to do with Spider-Man, so don't worry. You don't have to click off. I'm not going to spoil anything. But on the way to the movie theater is like 45 minutes away. I was telling Lisa there's another superhero movie that's coming out. It's coming out soon. I don't know exactly when. It's got one of my favorite actors in it. It's going to be so amazing, and I cannot wait to see it, and I think you're going to like it, and I think it's going to be a huge redemption story for this actor. I'm talking about the movie Morbius. I cannot wait for that, and I was telling her it's probably going to be a trailer before this, and I really want you to see it because I think you're going to really like that movie. That'll probably be the next one that we go and see. And of course, what happens, we get into our seats. She's like, I'm going to go pee before the movie starts. And she goes, and that's when the trailer comes on for Morbius. I was so mad about that. Jared Leto plays Morbius, and I can't wait for that one. One of the things that Lisa and I did very early on in our relationship was we every week religiously watched the show True Blood. So that vampire thing, it's kind of a thing that we have. Personally, I think True Blood got really stupid by like season 3, but season 1 was awesome. Season 2, but then it just got dumb. Once they started having necromancers and all that, it was just like, come on, what's happening here? I've been cycling a 36-gallon for about a month. I can't get nitrites to go down. Have a whisper hang on the back. Also getting brown stuff on rocks and plants. Do I do water changes or leave it alone? The brown stuff is extremely common in the beginning of an aquarium. It is almost 100% of the time going to be diatom algae, which is more of an annoyance than anything else. And it usually gets under control once your tank is established and everything's okay. So don't panic about that. My question for you is, do you have something? Well, your ammonia's down, so that's good. So you do have an ammonia source in there. So the bacteria simply hasn't caught up to the nitrites yet. I would try a live bacteria product. Fritzheim, Quick Start, Dr. Tim's. There's a lot of them. I would try something like that to help, give a little boost to that bacteria so that it can catch up to the nitrites and bring them down. And don't worry about the diatoms. Just clean them off, let them go, let your tank get established, and it should all go away. I was just going to suggest a fish that will definitely eliminate, but I'm not going to say it because you can't put it in a 36-gallon. You just can't. I'll say it to your face. Can I leave a blue electric crayfish in a 75-gallon tank with one red devil? Crayfish is an adult, and the red devil is about 4 to 5 inches. You know what? I'm going to tell you that might be a mistake. Because a lot of times, almost anything is a mistake to have with a red devil. It just is what it is. They're gorgeous fish, but sometimes they're best left alone. And a crayfish, they don't get big enough to really be able to defend themselves against a giant monster like that. So, but you know what? Jason Adams, Primetime Aquatics, had Oscars, had a tilapia in a tank with peacocks, and the peacocks were breeding, and the Oscars didn't eat the fry. So I've heard of crazier things. Rico Stan, a licky boom boom down snow informer. You want me to say it the way Snow did, don't you? Listen, it took me a second to figure out what in the world you were saying, but I'm not going to lie to you. I loved that song, and I still love that song to this day. If you don't know what Rico Stan is talking about, it's right there. The song is Informer, and it's from Snow. The singer is Snow. He's a one-hit wonder. He's a white rapper, and he was out right around the same time as Vanilla Ice. Like, I don't know why they have to be so cold, but he's awesome. And I love that song. I love it so much. Still, I might listen to it when we're done here tonight. Oh, here come the burps. Trevor Burge. That's probably not, but welcome to the team. Whips World with the $2 kitty cat number one. What was he talking about earlier? He was talking about something earlier, and I must have missed it there, but I don't remember what it was. But he always does this. I don't know why. John, hey guys, been watching for a while. Love the content. Also, I have a Florida gar and a clown knife I just purchased. They're doing great. I just purchased a red tail cat. Do you have any advice for tank size and food? John, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. The red tail cat and the Florida gar are both fish that get gargantuan in size. Way bigger than you think and way bigger than the people at the pet store told you. Some gar can get bigger than Florida gars, but I'm pretty sure Florida gars are the ones that can go over 3 feet. And so can red tail cats, and they can get like as heavy as you. Listen, if they've done an episode of the show River Monsters about that fish, you know it gets daggone big. And red tail cats get massive. They are beautiful. They're gorgeous. Florida gar are amazing. But you need to go very, very big, my friend. And I don't mean this big. I mean like Ohio Fish Rescue big. Because they are monstrous fish. And I'm of the belief, and I might get some crap for this, hopefully not, but I'm of the belief that there is no home aquarium that can accommodate a red tail catfish. Ponds that are thousands of gallons, sure. And public aquariums that, you know, the South American tank at a public aquarium is 76,000 gallons. It's the size of a building. Sure. But a home aquarium, I don't think there's such thing for as an aquarium that can house either one of those fish, really. The red tail more than the gar. But that's just my opinion. But it's based on the fact that they get absolutely huge. So great choices in fish because I love both of those. But did you realize how big they got? I'm going to tell you this. When I got my Florida gar and when I got my red tail catfish, I didn't know. And I realized it was a big mistake afterwards. And it broke my heart to see them both go. They were not in the same tank. But that's what we do in this hobby, you know? So, you know, maybe that would be a really good reason to get your wife to let you dig a pond in the backyard. And maybe you live in Florida because you bought a Florida gar. I don't know. I'm just fantasizing here. And a pond, you'd be fine. Dig yourself a big 3,000 gallon pond and put your red tail cat in that when he gets too big. Leo Contreras, again, when I set up my Title 75, full speed causes my sand to move around too much. What can I do to keep it from doing that? Want it full speed. It's a 40 breeder. So I'm going to try to say this delicately, Leo, because you're a big supporter of this channel. And you, there's a very good chance you bought that 75 from us because you order from us all the time. But this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. The 40 gallon is kind of like, because it's 5 gallons too big for the 35. It's 15 gallons too small for the 55. It's like right there in the middle. If they made a Title 40, it would be ideal. But this is an example of, in your situation, I would turn it down because the filter's simply too big for a 40-gallon tank. Am I saying you did a bad thing? No. I mean, especially with a filter like that, the fact that you can turn it down, it's great. You can get one that's too big. But my personal feeling is, I don't think you asked me if you should get a 75 for that. I don't think you did. If you had asked me prior to buying that, I would have said what I would do is get a 55 and run it wide open. Because maybe it wouldn't the 75 is just super strong and it's basically double what you need for that tank. Again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just think it would be, in that situation, you'd probably be best off going ahead and turning it down. But perfect world, you'd get a 55 and run it wide open. But even that, with sand and a 40 breeder, which is not a very tall tank, it might blow the sand around then too. And you might end up turning the 55 down too. So don't waste your money and buying a 55. Just turn the 75 down. You'll be good to go. But turn it down equally. Skimmer and the bottom. Have them both open the same amount. Just to get that circulation. You know what I'm saying. Multi-Tank Addiction introduced us to poop. Thank you, Chris, for that. Stephen P. Look at that. And you probably came in late and didn't hear me talking all good things about you in the beginning of the stream, thanking you for the decoration for the tree. It's on our tree, which is why I wasn't able to show it tonight. But that was very adorable. And you made a little tear come down Lisa's eye. It was wonderful. That wasn't meant to sound the way it sounded. I don't get amused when she cries. I'm saying if you open a gift and somebody cries, that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Multi-Tank Addiction. Challenge accepted. Severums can do anything. Listen, Chris, that will be your first million view video if you get a Severum jumping through hoops. I'm telling you, anybody that can get it. Well, Alex has one already. Apparently, I mean, I haven't seen that one, but that should be a million view video if you can get a fish to jump through hoops. I'm just saying. Ace Ventura couldn't even do that. Don Jones, looking forward to seeing you guys in Florida. Lisa, Jennifer keeps asking where you're at. Love you guys and all you do for the fish community. I promise you she is alive, folks. And we are not certain that she's going to be in Florida. We don't know yet. We cannot say anything definitive yet. Stay tuned. I'm going to be there. I don't know. I'm not ready to make any announcements yet. Whips World, proofreading is hard. Merry Christmas to the two coolest fishy folks on YouTube. May the big man in red bring you all you deserve and more. Hey, you know what? The kids all come over and we watch them open presents and yay, it's great. It's Christmas. That's all that matters. And we've got 2 grandkids this year that'll be opening presents. So it's a beautiful thing. Our youngest daughter got our grandson, who's not her child. She is his aunt, a dinosaur for Christmas. Hopefully Braden's not watching this. And she wrapped the dinosaur. So when you hold it up, it's like a dinosaur wrapped in paper. It's so funny. I wish I would have thought of it. I would have brought it in here and showed you, but it's really, really cute. So being able to watch that's what makes Christmas all worth it. I don't care if I get anything. Furloughs Aquatics, Merry Christmas, John and Lisa. Hope y'all have an amazing holiday. Right back at you, Eric. Thank you so much for that. Frank Birkin became a member. Welcome to the team. A fellow bald man. Way to go. Good job. Alex, again, not that Alex. Currently planning a fish and reptile store. You mentioned your store and losing money. What are your thoughts on making income with a fish store? It can certainly be done, but not by Lisa and I. Fish stores can make money. I'm not one of those people that would say, oh, you should never do it. they're just, it's a waste of money. You're going to go broke. Just because we did doesn't mean you are going to fail at it. What I would tell you is just know what you're getting into. Don't look at it and say what Lisa and I said, which was, well, we know how to take care of fish and we work well with people. So we can just, of course we can do this, because there is so much more to it than that. Learn how a retail business operates and understand working with vendors and how, money comes in, but it also has to go back out to buy more product and know how to, all of that. Trust me, there's more to it than what you think. And even with our business, with Lisa and I's business, running it 100% online, the having of the products and the buying the products and packing them and sending them off to customers is like 1/10 of the job. Everything else is the accounting and the planning and the ordering. We just spent more money than we've ever spent in our life yesterday buying product. I was a little shocked, like, oh, I can't believe we ordered that much, but you got to get used to that too. So all I'm saying is I am not somebody that poo-poos people starting businesses. In fact, somebody that is in the chat right now asked me about doing one a long time ago. Not me, but asked for advice on doing one. And I'm like, hey, it was bad for me. So most of the things that I'm going to say are bad, but that shouldn't discourage you from doing it yourself. It's just me sharing my experiences with you. The experience of having the store was not bad. We loved it. It was great. We worked at a fish store all day. That's awesome. But everything else was not easy. Fish Tank Barn, happy holidays to you too, my friend. Good to see you in here, Mike. Let's see, where did I lose these? Talina Christie, what substrate do you have in the Oscar tank? It's a substrate that is exclusive to me. I am the only fish keeper on earth. I'm not kidding you, that has this substrate in that tank. And it is a super fine, super delicate substrate that is so fine and so delicate that it's completely invisible. That's me being silly. You can't see it because the camera is at the perfect angle, but there is actually no substrate in there. None at all. And that was a big mistake. Our plan is whenever we move, who knows when that's going to be, I will put substrate in that tank. I'm not going to do it now. And the main reason why, this thing with the stand weighs about 1,100 pounds with no water in it. No water in the sump, no water in the tank, 1,100 pounds. So if I put substrate in it now, and then we move, let's say 6 months from now, I'm pulling all of that right back out again. That tank is 3 feet deep. Try to reach the back of a 3-foot tank. It's not easy to do. You basically have to get in the tank. It's no fun at all. So what I want to avoid is having to pull that substrate out. And unless I had a bunch of surfer dude bodybuilders come over here and carry this tank out with the substrate still in it, I don't know any surfer dude bodybuilders. So it'll make me so happy if some of you all know who I just quoted. I will be so tickled if you all know who I'm talking about when I say surfer dude bodybuilders, because it's one of my favorite lines in a movie. But I'm not going to have an army of people to help me move it. So I would have to remove the substrate, and I don't feel like doing that. So I just won't do it until we move. Saw the presentation you gave at Aquashella, and it was amazing. This is from Joseph Farina, by the way. Had me very emotional at points, especially when you spoke about Jay Wilson, since I was also in the military. Yeah, you know what? I could have said a whole lot more about Jay Wilson. Jay is the one, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible, because I'm not trying to be weird about it. Jay is the hardest one to talk about when I'm there, because which I'm done doing that talk, so it doesn't really matter anymore. But while I was doing that, because we have a son and a daughter-in-law that are former Marines, we have one that's getting ready to, has already enlisted, goes to boot camp in July for the Navy. So when you start talking about the military and stuff like that, it's really hard for me to do that. And then also the fact that sometimes when I gave that talk, Jay was actually in the audience. And that's a little awkward to talk about someone that's sitting there staring at you. He was at the event in Dallas, but he wasn't in the room in Dallas, but he was in the room in Chicago, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit. But yeah, nothing but the highest level of respect for Jay's service and anybody's service, yours too, Joseph. Yeah, I was proud to be able to talk about that, and I'm proud of Jay for what he's done. So I meant every word I said when I was there. And I mean it now too, and I'll say it to your face. I think the problem with your store was it was rural. Had you been in Nova or Richmond, you'd have killed it. You had a great shop. We didn't have a problem getting people in the store, and that was going to continue growing. That wasn't really a problem. It wasn't that we couldn't get enough customers. It was that we didn't know how to manage inventory. We didn't know how to always have fish coming in because they're going to be going out. And sometimes that means you have $2,000 here and you need to buy more fish for it. But then you look at your tanks and you're like, no, I don't. We've got all these fish, but you're not thinking that you're going to order fish and it's going to take, a week and a half, 2 weeks for them to get here. All of those fish that you have now are going to sell in those 2 weeks. That was the biggest struggle that we had. We're better at that now. Not with fish. We're selling fish now, but we're selling betas. And Lisa always has an inventory of fish that are actually not on the website. Can't believe it's 9:27 and I'm just saying this. Fish are going to go back up on the website in a couple of days, folks. Lisa was supposed to talk about that when she was going to be with me here tonight. But anyway, 9:27 and I'm finally bringing that up. But Mark, you're right. It would have done better if it was in Northern Virginia or certainly in Richmond. But it could have done well where we were at if we knew what we were doing. Because we had people driving from all over. Even back then, only having 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, we still had people driving from all over. People from other states, people traveling to come and see us there. So, and that would have just continued to grow and keep getting better if we knew what we were doing when it comes to running a business. Leo Contreras, again, Merry Christmas. You guys are the best. And yes, ordered it from you. The tank has like an inch of sand. So you think if ordering the 55 will still move it. See, I don't want you to do that, Leo. What I want you to do is turn the 75 down, because I'll be real upset if you buy that 55 and it still blows the sand around. So yeah, turn that one down and you should be good. And go ahead and have the skimmer, maybe have the skimmer wide open, turn the lower intake down a little bit. Just play around with it and see what works out best. Got to wrap things up here, 9:29 already, and I'm sure Fish from Fever is going to do an amazing Christmas Eve stream. UPS are living the dream. Haven't seen that name in a while, not in here anyway. Just an early Christmas present. Thank you so much for that. And please don't take offense to what I just said. I don't get to look at the chat all that often. You're probably there. I just don't see you. So please don't take offense to what I meant. And Catwoman VA, I want to call her Selena Kyle, but I want to call her Julie Newmar more now. But anyway, Merry Christmas from Hampton Roads to Nova. She said Norva, but it's Nova. The fiance's granddaughters will get the beta plushies, one blue and one red to match my betas. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for that. Thank you all for being just amazing, all of you. Thank you so much to all of the mods that have helped me out here tonight. It's a struggle doing this all by myself, even though I do the same things when Lisa's here. But anyway, thank you to Lisa for sending me questions, because that helped a great deal. And listen, folks, I want you to relax over the next few days. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your family. Enjoy the holiday. Don't worry about all that nonsense that's going on the news right now. Just love your family, because if the last year and a half, however long, has taught us anything, 2 years, it's that you never know if this will be the last one. So yes, enjoy your time with your family. Have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you next week. Sorry about the camera issues.